Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Gridiron Glory, where we're covering all 32 teams for the NFL. We have week one, Tennessee Titans at Chicago Bears, the much anticipated debut for number one overall pick Caleb Williams out of USC, the quarterback for Chicago. Not the flashiest stat line, as he was 14 of 29 for 93 yards, no touchdowns, no interceptions, also five rushes for 15 yards. So a very interesting stat line for Caleb Williams. He didn't turn the ball over with no interceptions, so that was a positive. He did fumble once, it was recovered by the Bears. So overall, he didn't have all that many negative plays from a turnover perspective, but you would like to see some more um potential come out of Caleb Williams. You'd like to see more big plays, but early on it was his first game and you could tell that he was still thinking like a college quarterback. And I mean, for example, like there was a play where he was rushed and he just kept trying to backtrack and trying to make a play, but and maybe that's like a tackle he could break in a college game at USC, but in the NFL when you got talented people running at you, it's not always going to be the best idea to just keep backtracking. So a lot of things to work on for Caleb Williams, just continue to develop. He has all the potential in the world to come out and be a top tier quarterback, but that could take some time. So it's going to be interesting to see what we get out of Caleb Williams moving forward. But he made his NFL debut today. Also making a debut for the Chicago Bears, their new running back, DeAndre Swift. He had 10 carries for 30 yards, so didn't get the ball a whole ton, but fairly um solid enough when he had his opportunities. So a very interesting offensive game for the Bears. They didn't have to do a whole lot. They were mostly led by their defense and special teams. Um you got TJ Edwards with his 15 tackles. That's a very solid start to the season for him. And then of course you get the defensive touchdown by Jonathan Owens. So that's a big play for him on special teams. And of course, the pick six by Tyreek Stevenson, they really helped turn the game around when Chicago's offense was struggling. It was the defense that picked them up and did what they could to keep Chicago in the game and eventually get the lead. So sometimes that just shows you that you have to have one unit pick up another unit. And this was a very positive case of that in Chicago. I mean, you got your rookie quarterback making his first start, and to know that you have a defense and special teams that can make plays like that around you, that's got to be a comforting feeling for a guy like Caleb Williams.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's certainly nice to know that you got a defense that can go out there, that can make big plays, that can, force turnovers, force interceptions. Yeah, it's certainly reassuring to Caleb Williams knowing that while he's developing here in Chicago, because I certainly do feel like that. Yeah, while the Bears maybe 1-0 against what was also a very shaky Titans team, they can go out here and they can really build off of this. I'm certainly going to probably sit here and still say that, Chicago, more likely than not, will finish, probably third or fourth in the NFC North, depending on how things go there. But this was certainly something great that they could build off of. And I would just, say that they're a team that can really be dynamic, but it just all depends on the development of Caleb Williams here. DeAndre Swift, I was very impressed by him. Even the rushing game for Caleb Williams. He had the 5 carries for 15 yards. So also worth noting, with Tennessee, Tony Pollard had a breakout touchdown play and then ran for 82 yards. So really impressive to see Tony Pollard for the Tennessee Titans there. What he's been able to bring even in just one game. Will Levis even looked pretty decent on the rushing side of things. Yeah. One thing that I was probably expecting a little bit more of a breakout was from a guy like Rome Odunze.
Yeah, the rookie receiver Rome Odunze, I'm sure they were hoping for a bigger splash from him early on, just the one catch for 11 yards, and now he's also dealing with a bit of an injury, so we'll see if he can get back out there. But he's a guy that once he has a chance to build a connection with Caleb Williams, give them some more time, I think that could potentially be a high level connection. It's not there yet. Obviously, we didn't see it on the field. Caleb Williams has a lot of things he needs to work out, and I'm sure Rome Odunze does as well. And they will. I think that this is an offense that still has a lot of potential. But once we get Rome Odunze more involved, that would certainly help the offense out.
Absolutely. Yeah, Nick Van Nett as well for Tennessee. Okonkwo even had a very clutch touchdown. Chig Okonkwo for Tennessee. I mean, Tennessee hung in this game, but then their defense, was able to go out there and make some big plays, especially late in the game. So, I was definitely very impressed with what Chicago was able to do here.
Yeah.
On the defensive side of the ball.
Yeah, it was an interesting game. Looking at it for Will Levis, I mean, you have the 2 interceptions and the fumble that you lost, so that's a tough game for Will Levis coming out to start the year, trying to just take a solid grasp on being a solid NFL quarterback. So, I mean, not all that impressive from Will Levis, and he'll have a chance to bounce back. It's his week 1. We'll see what we get from him moving forward, but at least early on, he definitely left a lot to be desired with the turnovers. So we'll see what we get there.
So, yep, Chicago ends up winning this game 24-17. Next week, it does look like we have Tennessee taking on the Jets. Meanwhile, Chicago is going to be taking on, let's see, the Houston Texans on Sunday Night Football. That'll be C.J. Stroud, Caleb Williams. So we hope to potentially bring you a great preview of that. So be sure to hit like, subscribe. Be sure to subscribe to our page, and follow us. Be sure to comment down below. And thank you for following the Gridiron Glory, where we cover all 32 teams.